Welcome investors! Today I want to talk with you about uranium shares of Energy Fuels, which I own. Exactly today, a year ago, July 28, 2020, I started buying the shares of Energy Fuels. So I want to talk about them because I own 47,000 shares. And some of you are wondering if I still own them, or maybe I sold some of them because recently uranium went down and the shares of Energy Fuels went down as well. So you will find out in the second part of this video if I still own all those shares. So first, let's start talking a little bit about uranium industry, and then I'll show you the chart of the price of the stock of Energy Fuels for past year, and then I'll show you in my account my shares of Energy Fuels. Okay, so if you're interested, keep watching, don't go anywhere. So like I said, almost exactly actually a year ago on July 28, 2020, I started buying the shares of Energy Fuels. Why did I buy the shares of Energy Fuels? I did some research. And came to the conclusions that uranium is the future source of energy for Earth. Because I was looking into the solar energy, into the wind energy, and I was comparing some data, and in the end, making the long story short, I came to the conclusion that wind energy and the solar energy is not the future of the energy for our planet. It is something which can be as a what can serve as an addition to main source of energy, which in my opinion will be uranium. So I started buying the shares of Energy Fuels, and I also started buying the shares of Cameco, which is one of the biggest companies which is mining for uranium in Canada. So during past year, my shares they almost tripled. I bought them for $1.40 up to $1.88, and right now they are around $5.30. Couple weeks ago they went to $7 and I believe $7.50 or $7.80, and they went down. So then I got a lot of questions from you. Do I still own my uranium shares? So I do still own every single share which I bought a year ago. I own 47,000 shares. I was originally planning to own 50,000. That was my goal. But you know what? It's life. Not always you can achieve whatever you are planning. The reason why I did not buy 50,000 because the shares went over $2, and I told to myself, hey, you know what, if it's going over $2, I'm stopping buying. I will stop buying. And they went over $2 and I stopped buying. So like I said, as of right now I own 47,000 and I didn't sell any single share. I still own all of them. Why I didn't sell anything when the stock went to $7.50? Because I deeply believe that the time for uranium will come in the future. That this time, which was a couple weeks ago, that was not the peak of the price of the shares of Energy Fuels and ultimately the price of uranium, because price of uranium is still relatively low. It's much less in many cases than it's worth to produce the uranium. That's why some of the biggest uranium mines and some of the biggest companies are putting on idle some of their biggest minds. So I'm giving myself around 5 to 10 years period in the future. Now we have 2021, I'm gonna wait to 2031, and then I'm expecting the uranium to take off by this time, because those changes around the world, when the world realizes that uranium is the future and uranium is the place to go, they takes time. We're not going to have overnight transition from these sources of power which we have right now to uranium. There has to be transition in the minds of people who are making decisions. Plus, we have a lot of obstacles in front of uranium. What I mean by this, uranium is a very sensitive source of power because of the danger which is carrying with it. What I mean by this, I mean the Chernobyl accident, Fukushima accident. People are scared. People are afraid that something like this can happen again, and they will not go just really quickly fully into uranium. There has to be a transition within the minds of people who are in a position of power, governments, companies, and this will take time, and this will take years. This will take years. The same way, like almost 100 years ago, we have electricity coming into the play. People didn't like electricity. They wanted to stay with the oil as the main source of power and as the main source of light in the houses. People didn't like electricity. They were afraid of electricity. But you know what? It was inevitable that electricity is the future source for energy, for houses, for factories. Okay? So there people went through the transition from oil to producing the electricity. Okay? And I think the similar situation is going to happen in the future if you are thinking about uranium in comparison to another sources of energy like coal, like wind, like solar, and or another renewable sources which we have. Eventually uranium will be considered and will be taken seriously and will be the main source of energy for the planet of Earth. Why? Because it is very, very powerful source of energy, very efficient, much more efficient than anything else which you have around the world. And of course, with this efficiency comes a danger, nuclear wastes. People are afraid that the wastes after the use in nuclear power plant, they can pollute the rivers, they can pollute the land where they live, and they have a full right to be afraid. So this part has to be worked out in the matter so the wastes can be stored safely, so people don't have to worry about their environment to be polluted. This is a very serious issue, which is I think slowing very much the transition for uranium to become a main source of energy for the planet of Earth. Okay, so let's take a look right now at the chart of energy fuels for past couple years, and right after that I'll show you my shares of energy fuels and we'll see how exactly they are doing. Like I said, after the year, today is exactly anniversary when I started buying energy fuels shares in July 28, 2020. All right, let's take a look at this. July 28, 2020, when I started buying the shares of Energy Fuels. And as you can see on this chart, they were hovering around $1.70, $1.60. I was even able to get for $1.46 per share. And since then, you can see right here, October, November, shares went up. They went up all the way to $7 in June 4, 2021. And then since then, we have a decline in the price of energy fuels. What is the reason for decline? I don't know, and it's really hard to say. Even if you search some information about uranium industry, it's going to be hard for you to determine why exactly shares of energy fuels went down from June to right until right now. If I would have to say what is the reason is that the general market is also pulling back, and we have decline overall in all stocks if you take a look at the market. So I think that the energy fuels is not immune from the general pull out of the money made by investors from the stock market. So that would be my explanation why shares of energy fuels went down. But since the time when I was buying the shares, which is July, August, September, October, the shares went up almost 300%, 326%. So they, like I said, they almost tripled. And then since the peak, which was in, I would say roughly in June, they went down around 24%. But like I said earlier, I didn't sell any single share because I deeply believe that uranium is the future source for our planet. So that is my deep, deep belief. That's why I'm holding the shares of energy fuels for the longer term. So right now, let's take a look at my account in Vanguard and see exactly how my shares are doing. Energy fuel shares. Like I said, I started buying on July 28th. I got 1,000 shares for $1.88. Again, July 30th, 1,000 shares for $1.68. July 31st, 1,000 shares for $1.74. August 25th, 1,000 shares for $1.71. August 28th, 10,582 shares. Wow, that's kind of strange number. I don't know why I picked this, but anyway, it was for $1.88. September 22nd, 7,000 shares for $1.66. September 23rd, 5,000 shares for $1.62. September 23rd, again, 10,000 shares for $1.64. September 28th, 3,500 shares for $1.62. October 2nd, 2020, 1,000 shares for $1.65. Then October 2nd again, 918 shares for $1.67. October 26, 1,000 shares for $1.54. October 28, 1,000 shares for $1.46. I believe this is the best deal which I got for energy fuel shares. Then again, October 28, 1,000 shares bought for $1.50. And then October 30th, 1,000 shares for $1.47. and November 2nd, 1,000 shares for $1.47. So altogether, there is 47,000 shares. It was supposed to be 50,000, but it went over $2, and I just got discouraged, and I said to myself, you know what, I'm not buying anything over $2 for Energy Fuels. Total which I invested in the shares of Energy Fuels was $79,317.22. As of right now, the shares are worth $253,095. So, which is increase 220%. That's the appreciation which I got for the year. Actually, today is a year and 1 day because I'm recording this part on July 29. That's why here you can see this number, $3,505 being on this side, not on this side, because this line is a gain, short-term gain, which is considered a year or less. Whatever something shows up in this line, it is considered a long-term gain, which is 1 year and longer. This has tax implications. Basically, if I decided to sell some shares, and if I keep them more than a year ago, I'll pay much lower tax. Okay, so that's my shares of Energy Fuels. I kept them all. I didn't sell anything, even when they went down recently, because they are the entire my investment is, like I said, the gain is 220%. A couple weeks ago, it was almost 300%, but I did not get discouraged and I did not liquidated my shares. So please let me know, what do you think about uranium industry and about uranium? Do you agree with me that uranium is the future source of energy for the planet of Earth, or you disagree with me? Write me down the comment below this video. I would love to hear from you. I really enjoy reading all your comments. And like always, if you like this video, hit the thumb up, share this video with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, all social media platforms. It will help me greatly to build this very simple investing channel. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you are not a subscriber, so you don't miss any future videos which I'm planning to publish. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with me today. I really appreciate this, and have a great day.